Anyway, that was my first and probably last experience with any maid cafes out there, and I don't really care to have another experience like that, to be complete. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, to be completely honest. Sorry if I'm making you yawn, but it's just, I don't know. Like I said, I will. Here's also another thing. Let's start another conversation here about my sleep schedule, and I'll tell you exactly how I managed to accidentally ruin it every single time in the next episode. Alright, welcome. Still, the video and audio is desynced, or pretty much I'm recording over the video because the facecam, like live facecam footage that I recorded, is just turned out bad. It was just awful. Nevertheless, what we're doing here in Ul'dah is we're going over to the Ruby Road Exchange to talk to the Adventurers Guild, talk to Miss Miqo'te, the leader and the, I guess, the manager of the Adventurers Guild in Ul'dah. And she pretty much guides us over to somebody who can tell us about the Copperbell Mines, and then ask us to go ahead and clear it as a dungeon party, which we'll do in the next episode. And hopefully the live recording is going to be going, you know, swimmingly and going pretty well. Around here, I pretty much just sell some things right before I go off to grab the quest, and then we just do our. I'm so sorry again. I'm so drinking on. I promise I'm not yawning at my own story now. I'm not yawning at my own commentaries. I'm gonna tell you about how I end up wrecking my sleep schedule, and whenever I fix that, I decide to, you know, I end up doing more damage than good, really. I'm not gonna read the dialogue because following my own dialogue right now is just gonna be pointless, because I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna go ahead of time, I'm gonna go slower, and I'm just gonna get distracted. Anyway, enjoy the dialogue if you like to, keep enjoying the dialogue, and just tune me out if you like to, or listen to my commentary if you like to. It's really up to you at this point. What ended up happening is, when it comes to me, you know, trying to fall asleep, usually, you know, on a weekend or something, I like to just stay up, do whatever, you know, work extra on videos, work extra on the channel, answer comments and stuff like that, catch up on things that I have missed out in the gaming world, or catch up on videos that I haven't seen in a while, or catch up on, you know, my favorite YouTube channels and stuff like that. So what ends up happening during summer especially, or during breaks, like whenever I get off breaks, well, like college breaks or something, what ends up happening is that I end up wrecking my sleep schedule like bad. Like, it's, I'm so sorry, guys. Oh my god, I need to stop yawning. I need to get a soda or something after this. I am real sorry. This is what happens when I end up wrecking my sleep schedule. I just involuntarily yawn, and then I forget to, you know, take in oxygen, and then I forget to take in oxygen, and then after that comes all the yawning. Apparently the yawning is caused by lack of oxygen to the body, and that just kind of, the process of yawning pretty much, let me drop some science on you here. The process of yawning makes your body try to take in more oxygen. So you know what, instead what I'm going to do is just take, you know, deep breaths whenever I, well, not deep breaths, but significantly deeper breaths, so that I can prevent myself from yawning, unless, you know, it's just something that's absolutely involuntary that I can't control. Anyway, there are two ways I rule my sleep schedule. One, I stay up really late because I'm like either, you know, doing something on YouTube, or I'm watching a show. I'm like, oh, one more episode. I got a good cliffhanger, but one more episode of a new anime that I'm watching. And then I end up waking up, like, first I wake up at 1 p.m., then 2 p.m., then 3 p.m. And I don't wake up at 4, just 3 p.m. and that's it. That's my limit. There was once during spring break that I woke up at 5 p.m. and I hated myself for that. So I made myself stay up and try to fix my sleep schedule. But even if I do that, if I go like to bed early or something, I'll wake up even earlier, like at 5 or 6 a.m. Sorry about that. I'm real sorry. This is probably gonna happen a lot. And if I make you yawn, I'm very sorry about that. Part of me kind of wants to just completely censor myself every single time I yawn, just so I don't have to make you yawn, and maybe mute myself when I yawn. Anyway, yeah, whenever I try to go to bed early, I wake up even earlier. Sometimes I wake up at 6 a.m., then it's like 5 a.m. and then 4 a.m., and you get the picture. And then every part of my body wants to go to bed earlier and earlier and earlier, like go to bed at 8, 7, 6, and 5. That just, you know, it just wrecks my schedule, my sleep schedule backwards, which is just not healthy for anybody, and especially not healthy for me. It's just one of those worst things. I'm real sorry. that you don't want to do to yourself. So if you get a good sleep schedule, stick to it. And it doesn't matter if you're like, oh, I just want to, you know, just get a little bit more, you know, just a little bit more of the show in, just intake of the show, just, you know, oh, like, maybe I could do this on YouTube, or this was streaming, or get this game, or maybe like, oh, one more level of the game. It's just, you know, it's just gonna end up breaking your sleep schedule. Now, stop talking about sleep, because obviously, I think talking about sleep is what makes me yawn so much, which is not good. Let's talk about a little bit about the quest. What ends up happening in the quest, I learned about that they have something called hectanocares, or these giant guys, pretty much, that were used as slaves back in Copperbell Mines. The original people that tamed them used enchanted helmets and put it on them in order to take control, but as every single enchanted item out there in the world eventually deteriorates, they lose control over the big behemoths. And these behemoths are huge, like ginormous. So instead of like trying to subdue them, the owners of the mine just bury the mine and crash the mine. I'm sorry. I'm real sorry. I'm getting better. I'm getting better though. In order to subdue the enemies, and well, not the enemies, but the giant behemoths, and keep them down in the mine. And they've been down there for like decades and decades, maybe centuries even. And somehow they're still alive. The mine's been recently uncovered because Ul'dah is facing this economical crisis. A lot of refugees coming in. They need to get the supplies up and running and everything. But they can't, simply because they need they need the people, they need the materials and everything. And in order for them to thrive and survive, with all the refugees coming in from the calamity, they need to reopen up the mines for resources, but the mine is still infested with those big guys. Somehow it is still infested with giant hectanocares, I think that's what it's called. Hectanocares? That's one of those variations. And pretty much you as an adventurer, or Elliot, or me, whoever, Elliot Elliot right over here has to go over and pretty much clear out the mines with other dungeon members and the other dungeon party members. And that pretty much starts off another quest chain to go into another dungeon, which is one thing I like about this game, is that it actually gets you to go and travel and adventure and search for things, which I really like. Hold on, let me check my phone, make sure it's nothing too major. Right, not gonna worry about it. Excuse me, my bad. You always have some kind of drink of water with me every single time I do these kind of things, especially when, being tired and waking up early. And yes, I actually woke up early, which is why I probably look very, very tired, because I went to bed a little early and woke up even as early as like 6 a.m. Then tried to go back to bed, woke up at 7. Tried to go back to bed, woke up at 8. I was like, alright, whatever, you know what? If I'm gonna just keep waking up every single hour, I might as well get out of bed, take a shower, clean myself up, make myself look a little bit, presentable. Use a comb to like brush the beard. I'm actually trying to grow the beard out right now. I'm trying to grow the sideburns and then just this, and I just want it all to meet together. So when I start the college semester, I can decide whether I want to keep it or shave it, just to look nice and sharp. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. I don't know. I can grow a beard. I'm just like, the fact that I can grow a beard, I'm like, I'll give it a try. I'll give it a go. I'll see what it's like. I didn't know this video would turn into just me pretty much vlogging while there's gameplay happening. And like I said before, apologize for it, but audio issues happen, and they happen more often than I want them to, which sucks. And there's not much I can do about it, but that's about it. The only thing I can do is just, be diligent and, stick to my, I guess, principles, and try to, make up for it with semi-interesting commentary that may not fully relate to the gameplay over here. It will still sort of provide some kind of entertainment. Here I've shown off Skywatchers, which are these cool little people in capital cities, or major little cities, that actually tell you what the weather is going to be like for a certain place. I'm sorry. Oh. Now, I'm not sure how much weather affects the entire, you know, the gameplay flow, maybe when certain ads summon up and whatever, but it is kind of cool to see that the weather actually changes and there are people out there that monitor the weather. Now, I'm not sure the value of the weather or how, you know, valuable it is, but it's whatever, right? There's some NPC out there that's like watches the weather and reports like, hey, we're having a thunderstorm here, having heat waves there, having fog here, having giant thunder over there, having umbral winds here. I'm just reading off what it says there. It just says umbral winds. I'm not sure what umbral winds mean, but it sounds really cool. Maybe I will experience the umbral winds once I go into like the expansion and everything. I'm entering the Heaven's Ward expansion just recently on my main character, and I'm, you know, adventuring in new zones and trying to get my flying at the same time, trying to get all my tunes and everything. And it's fun to explore the game again. It's really fun. The leveling in the Heaven's Ward expansion is pretty slow, but it's entertaining. It doesn't make me feel like I need to, you know, just keep rushing and rushing and rushing everywhere. It's just nice and enjoyable, to be completely honest. It's one of the more pleasant experiences I've ever had out of, you know, leveling in well, really any MMO really. Final Fantasy has, in my opinion, some of the best like leveling story out there, and I just personally enjoy it a lot. It's just fun for me. It's just fun, entertaining, and I love it. It's absolutely awesome. I don't know any other way to really put it. Just, it's entertaining, it's awesome, and it's just enjoyable that there's a huge story that I get to follow. Now, around here, I decide that, hey, you know what? I'm gonna do my hunting log for a little bit. I got giant tortoises, I got bombs I can kill, I got some things I can kill around here, so I'm just gonna, you know, finish off the hunter's log. Talking about hunter's log, though, pretty good segue, actually. Hunter's log is one of my favorite features out of this entire game. The fact that literally they say, hey, I know you could, like, you know, you can, like, technically sit down and grind mobs over and over and over, but hey, how about you grind a certain set of mobs that we give you, and then you just get a free experience. Now, that sounds absolutely awesome in my opinion. That is an ingenious idea, and I don't know why more MMOs don't have it. It literally tells you, hey, I know sometimes you want to just, you know, run around and grind mobs and enemies, or sometimes you don't want to. But hey, here is an incentive for you to do so. If you do that, you'll get a lot of experience and a lot of gil, and that's always good for everybody, right? Yeah, that sounds pretty awesome. For me, it sounds actually pretty awesome as well. I'm totally down for it. So that's why it's just fun to do this hunter's log every single time. And the hunter's log even tell you like where the person is going to be and which location they're going to be at, which I think makes it even better. A hunter's log without the location markers would be more interesting because it's like saying, hey, you gotta go find this ad somewhere. I mean, you can Wikipedia it or something or Google it, but still it would, you know, give you a difficulty. While the hunter's log in this game pretty much tells you, oh, you go to Western Thailand, you go to this little zone over here, or that little zone over there, and stuff like that, and go places, and you will find it pretty much. And I think that's actually pretty cool. Although it does kind of, you know, sometimes feels like it partially breaks immersion, it is very fun and very entertaining, and I personally enjoy it. Right now, I'm just in search for the turtles, because I'm determined to kill every single turtle for this thing. I don't know why, just once, you know, once I bury my face into something, I just go headstrong and just kind of want to complete it. And Hunter's Log is just really entertaining to complete at this point. Plus, to be completely honest, I didn't want to get into the dungeon because I was looking at the time, I was like, oh, well, you know, I'm gonna have like, well, like 7 more minutes of this to play before, you know, I need to wrap up and edit this, and there's no reason for me to get into the dungeon right now. I can always, you know, wait until another day. And the next dungeon is actually one of my favorite ones. It's one of the longer ones, but one of the more fun ones with, you know, more fun boss mechanics and just in general, really fun mechanics overall in total. And I am totally looking forward to that dungeon. Simply because it's just a fun dungeon. It has a really neat looking boss in my opinion. Well, not, the boss is not neat looking, but the mechanics that he has is pretty neat. It's pretty much the enemy uncovers a wall, like the boss at a certain point of health uncovers a wall where he summons extra adds. That extra add will uncover another set of walls, and then that extra add I think will try to uncover another set of walls, so that a bunch of guardians, a bunch of these giant behemoth guardians are going to be pouring out into the room and trying to kill everybody. So it's like it's like very severely on the ultimate ad management that can possibly be out there, which, you know, that's pretty good. I guess. Right now over here, I decided, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and run over to the mine and just kind of check it out, and also see if I can get the bombs on my way there. And the mine is, I believe it's, yeah, it's Copperbell Mines. I keep forgetting the name. I'm not, like I said, I'm not probably in the best state to do this, but whatever, I'm giving it a go. The Copperbell Mines, they have a lot of progression mechanics that you have to follow. Like, a lot of times, instead of going through a door or finding a boss to get through an exitway or something, you have to actually collect powders or like fire salts in order to use them and cast them into a powder chamber on one of these like TNT explosive things, where you just like push the lever or something and just everything explodes. Yeah, pretty much that's what we gotta do. Collect fire salts from enemies and just fire salts that are lying around, put it into the chamber and then blow it up in order to make our escape and make our advance through a dungeon, which I think is a cool mechanic. Like the fact that you actually literally make your own pathway throughout the entire thing. I think that's actually really freaking cool. And, it kind of immerses you more into the game rather than like, oh, you just right-click this door and it opens the door, it teleports you to another area and stuff like that. It's like, it gets you to be a little bit more engaged in what the hell you're doing. It makes you care a little bit more about, the things that you do, which I'm totally down on board with, personally. And right about here, I find some bombs to kill, and I pretty much just complete my hunter's log for bombs. I don't think I gain a level at this point. And I really should, or I believe I did go over to Horizon to get the wrestling bonus. Anyway, the wrestling bonus is something that you might want to get every single time whenever you play an MMO. If an MMO has a wrestling bonus, you want to get it because that's probably one of the best ways, and one of my favorite ways personally, to level throughout the place. Also, what I probably should be doing is drinking, eating food and drinking water and stuff like that, because the food and water in this game actually gives you, a 3 experience bonus, which was, 3 experience percent bonus. 3% experience bonus. There we go, that's what I meant. So that you gain extra 3% for, things you kill. And I think for turning a quest, I'm not 100% sure about that one yet. So please don't quote me on that. But yeah. Yeah, thank you so much for helping us. I really appreciate it. Another pugilist. And someday, you saw that person had a Chocobo then? Yeah, someday we'll A, get to ride the Chocobo, and B, we'll also 1 or 2, whatever, A, B, 1 or 2, whatever, doesn't matter. At a certain point, what will happen is that we'll actually be able to summon the Chocobo using cabbage. Literally, cabbage. We're just gonna take cabbage and use cabbage to summon the Chocobo to our side and fight by our side as a trusted companion and pretty much help us tank different things. Which for leveling, that would be, freaking sweet. I actually gotta do that for my main character because being an archer, I need somebody, oh no, not an archer, being a bard, I need somebody to, take on the front lines and, tank for me while I just, sit in the back and just pew pew, because it just, I kind of need some kind of help. If I just stand there and just get, bombarded and pounded right there by the big enemy, then I'm pretty much gonna die. And that's the worst part of it. And here's another worst part. I started setting my reset point to the closest home city, or the closest asteroid I can think of, and I like Copperbell Mines. In order to get the resting bonus, so in order to not, in case I die or something, not teleport to New Gridania, because my current I guess return asteroid is set to New Gridania, like all the way back into New Gridania. So even if I die in Hemsworth or Ishgard or whatever the Hemsworth expansion places are, if I die, I have to respawn at New Gridania, and that's going to take a while for me to, it's going to take it's going to take a lot of gold, and B, it's going to take a while for me to get back to, where I was supposed to be. Now I can obviously, go repair gear and stuff, but that's about all I can do, really, which kind of sucks. I need to start changing my return asteroids every single time I can possibly, do that, which it's whatever. If I can't do it right now at the moment, it's, it's not really that big of a deal. And now we arrive to Horizon, one of the few little quaint little places that I simply enjoy out of this place. It's just kind of nice. I try to look through some of the armors from this lady over here to see if maybe we can, get something of our level. And sadly we can't. There's nothing of our level that could be good. There's some bronze glasses, but that's about it. Bronze glasses are better for casters, if anything, not for melee users like us. We are melee users, so we want to get hats and stuff. Glasses are more for the casters and the healers and stuff like that. Like, yeah. Seriously, it feels like I'm just rambling on at this point. Kind of sucks. Hopefully I don't have to deal with this audio problem again in the future like this, because this is honestly kind of a pain in the ass, to be completely honest. It's just rough to deal with, and I'd rather not deal with it in the future. Anyway, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and just wrap up the episode right around here. I think I recorded for a decent amount. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Hopefully you can forgive me for having desynced, or I guess not really desynced, but what's the best way to put it? Unfitting audio? Not having live recording audio of the entire experience, I guess you can call that. Yeah, I guess you could probably call that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed nevertheless. Hopefully next episode or next time we come back, this problem will be fixed, hopefully, and I will not have to deal with it ever again. Anyway, my name is Thamriyell. Like, subscribe, and as always, have a great day. See ya!